Greetings in our Scala class, and today we will look at how to download texts from the web, from World Wide Web. It turns out in Scala it's quite easy, so it will be very short. This will be a very short video. So we'll make a utilities. We have in our utilities class, we'll make a utility to download text from the web. Well, and the thing is, actually we're not gonna make a utility to download, we're gonna make utility to only get a string, right? So we'll see how useful that can be. And it turns out it's quite easy, so we'll call it this define get text from web, something like this, and we will call it a URL, unified resource locator, or unified, right, on string, and we're gonna get back a string. So we'll emulate, well, a call to a web page, basically. It turns out it's extremely simple, and so we'll call this HTML, right, and source from URL, right, it's built in. Actually we're going to use URL, right, so we will get, it's buffered, right, it's a buffered one, so URL, right, and we want to actually give a URL, right, and that's it. But so this is raw, this could be a buffered, right, this is a, well, buffered source, this is a buffered source, right, this gets us buffered source stream, right, so stream, but we want to probably return it HTML to make string, and that's it, right? So simple. So we do not, we just get a string representation, right? It could be pure text, it could be HTML, it could be XML, could be JSON or anything else, but we don't really worry about it, right? We are going to a web source, right, and we are going to get some results, hopefully, right? So I will add also some parameters, right? So this is, believe I have some, so I'll use, right, this is for docstring. Okay, yeah, so we're returning the whole page. We return the whole web page as string, right? And of course URL is a web resource locator, right? So this is useful for helping, for getting some documentation later on, right? So quite easy, and let's see how it works, right? And I will, to test this, right, I will be using it to download something from Project Gutenberg, right? This is a site, so this is a class, right, utilities, and I'm gonna want to use, so here's the Gutenberg org, this is free books, over 60,000 free books, quite a nice project from late 80s, early 90s, but now it's grown quite a bit. Of course, as you know, with the free books, not everything is legal, so of course this is actually a legal source, right? Again, depending on your country, but most countries it should be legal to download here. So, okay, so, and we'll do for Christie. Of course, Agatha Christie is, it has most her books are under copyright, but some of them actually are not, right? So let's see where we go here, Agatha Christie, right, let's see, on, we get few of them, right? The first early books you can get, the later ones of course are under copyright, you can't. So we'll do the Poet Investigates, maybe we'll do this one, right? And you have these links, you see, you of course, if you go to, I'll do the plain text UTF-8, right? If you click it here, right? This is the address, right? So this is how it's been organized, release date, right? This is a Project Gutenberg release of this book. Okay, so this is our site. So this is a web page, of course, but it actually doesn't have to be HTML. It's just pure text. So that's what, in fact, that's what we're gonna use. So that's our URL, and let's see how it works. I'm going to assign it to new Scala class object. Day was 19 now. Day 19. No, day 19. Reading web pages, right? And of course I'm going to extend, so extends app, sorry, bigger one, right? And let's get the URL. So URL equals, well, URL equals this nice little string, right? And let's see if this works. And so my string, well, text, right, equals, well, I can do util, right? And I see get text from the web, right? Again, I don't have to import because I'm using utility in the same package, right? So utility is available by direct. Of course, I could have imported it also, right? So I just say URL, and let's print maybe the first print line. You are text, see what happens, text slice, or take, we can do take actually, we can do take maybe first 100 characters, right? Let's see, that should do it, right? First 10, right? Yes, take or slice it or take first 10, 100, or maybe first 300. Let's see if that actually works. Okay, and let's run it, see if this actually works. Again, this actually makes we make get request on the web resource. So this actually, you need of course a web connection here, of course, but let's see if this actually works. Run, and let's see if this does work. Again, there could be multiple problems seeing if this URL is not correct or anything doesn't work, but let's see. Right, looks quite good. We actually got the text. Well, I printed only the first part. What I didn't do, I should have probably saved this. So let's maybe say, let's do a val destination. Destination, right, will be what we already know, source, resources, and I'll say, what did we call this book? Poirot investigates resources, right? Poirot, well, we could call it, of course, by name or by a Christie. You could do this, right? A Christie. And I'll do Poirot investigates. And I'll do text, right? So that will be our destination, right? Looks pretty decent, right? This relative path, right? And I will do it now. Save it. We have utility to do this, right? So utility, save text, right? We don't really want to any lines. We're just gonna save it. And let's see. Is there anything? Do we want append? No. We just want to save it, right? So destination path. We have destination, right? Again. So destination path equals destination, or I'll just do destination, right? Because that's implied. And do we need anything else? Well, we need, of course, what we're going to save, right? That's going to be a text, right? Again, and that's it. Do we have any other methods there? Well, we have the append, we had verbose, false, right? We could do, of course, now verbose saying what's doing. But okay, let's try this, right? So let's see if it works, right? Again, let's see. Right, looks like it. Again, remember, each time we make a request, right? A request on the page. Looks like it worked quite nicely. Let's check if we have the book. We have our resource, and here we go. Agatha Christie, and again, maybe I didn't spell it correctly, but you can rename it, right? And let's see. Or Christie A, maybe it should be better. Maybe that would be a better name. We'll maybe rename it. I'll rename it afterwards, right? That would be probably better. So they'll open up as a text file. See if it looks decent, right? It looks decent, and we have a nice little collection of short stories, right? Right, excellent. So we'll have something to work with later on, right? So very nice. I think that's quite nice achievement. And maybe I will fix it up for you. I will make the names. So for next time, right, if you run it yourself, you don't have to rename it like I did. Christie A, maybe, right? There's funny stories. There was in Latvia also a writer who used this name, Christie A. And he was not Agatha Christie, he was Arnold Christie. That was his pen name. That's quite funny. Maybe like 10 years ago I saw it in a bookstore. So, yes, Christie A. And we have the book. Right, and I'm gonna rename it here manually because, of course, or well, I'll run it again. Why not? I can run it one more time. Project Gutenberg is, well, it's a text file, so it's only how big is it? It's about 300 kilobytes, so that's really nothing, right? War and Peace is about 5 megabytes, so we'll let Project Gutenberg handle another request, right? Of course, if you're downloading a lot of resources, you want to minimize this. You need to minimize these calls. But let's see. And I should have a new book, right? Yeah, there's a new book. I'm going to delete this old one, right? Christie A. This one is going to be deleted, right? You don't need this one. Okay. So we learn how to download strings from a web. Again, pretty much any web page will be a string, so you don't have to worry about. Again, later on we'll work with maybe a JSON file or or XML or maybe HTML file, right? But really this is just a string. So anything you go on the web, you will be getting a string, right? Like here, right? That's just a string, really, right? Any page underneath is just a string, really. So we go to text, and since we already, again, we are building upon the things we already know. Since we already know how to, we already have utilities to save text, right? There's no need to use this. I mean, we could make another function, get text and save, right? That's also possible, right? Since we have time, maybe I'll add that as well, right? We have some time, so I'll make a function to get text from web and save, right? So URL, string, and destination file, right? Again, string, right? So we can return unit maybe for now, because this is not going to return anything, or we could also return the string, right? I would say return the string just in case, right? It doesn't cost us anything. If it's unit, so it doesn't cost us anything extra, right? So string with the returning units. So we can do, of course, we're going to use val text, right? Or text is equals, of course, get text from web URL, right? We are good. And then we can use that to save it at the destination, right? So save text, right? Destination text, right? Easy. So we are using everything and return, of course, text, since we, just as extra bonus. And we return the text just in case we want to save and do some work as well. So this is nice helper function. Again, we are building from something we already have, right? Again, I'll make a little doc string, right? I'm not going to fill it out, maybe later on, right? So web resource locator, I can just copy it, right? And that is a file path. Destination file path returns text from the URL, right? Again, could be anything, could be text, HTML, XML, JSON, etc., right? Doesn't really, right? It's just a pure text string from, right? Again, we building up all these little helper functions. So let's see how this works. Let's open, let's save another book since we have time. We have a few more minutes, and let's save it. Now I'm going to save, right? I'll commit this first, right? Commit, so we can have this day 18. Saving web resources. Commit and push. Of course, it's another question how to get these URLs, right? This part here. Well, if you have later on, maybe we'll have time to write a browser, a scraper, where we go through and find these URLs to download, right? That's another story, right? But for now, let's assume we have the targets, right? So I'll just basically make a copy D, right? And I will, so this is already taken, right? And now, of course, this also is taken, right? I'll make something else. Let's make another book, right? And what do we have? Sherlock Holmes, perhaps, right? Let's do Sherlock Holmes, right? So Conan Doyle, right? And we will do, again, yeah, so Return of Sherlock Holmes. No, maybe Adventure of Sherlock Holmes. Quite a few downloads. This looks like a nice book. It's bigger. Well, plain text, not that bad, right? So again, I will get the copy link address, right? So, well, not like that. I want to get it here, and I'll have it like this, right? Okay. And so this will be my URL right here, and my resources will call it now Adventure of Sherlock Holmes, right? So it'd be nice, of course, we get the name right, but we'll do this right here, and I'll do Doyle AC, or maybe he'll call it, right? And would be nice, of course, to make a name for this, right? To make, maybe later on we'll make a little name, a little extra helper for this, right? For now, I'll just say Doyle. I'll do it by hand again, right? Maybe not very nice, but so we'll call it Doyle AC Adventures Adventures of, what do we call it? Of Sherlock Holmes. Of Sherlock Holmes, right? Right, and since I'll use this, right, we are not gonna, we don't need these two, right? I mean, I can get it here, right? But I'm gonna use this one also. Don't need this right anymore. I don't need this anymore. And I'm gonna use save it text, right? So text and save it, of course, equals utility. Save, get text, let's see, get text from web and save, right? Okay, I think it's decent name. So we need, of course, URL and we need destination. Let's see if this we can do. Boss print line text take, you know, 300 or 500. Maybe we'll get the beginning of the text. Okay, let's see. Let's run it. 1, 2, 3. Let's double check if we have everything sane, and let's run it. Yeah, looks decent. Characters, yeah, release date. Right, very nice. Right. Yeah. Nice license again, open to use for everybody. Okay, so let's add these, right? So what do we have here? We are going to add this writing, right? Right. License on reading. On writing, you know, not writing, we can't really write to web resource, but on displaying and showing, right? Let's commit that. And again, since these are free materials, right, I can actually add them to our resource, right? We have our commit. So where we have it here, target, not here. Where is it? On version files? Actually, I think they're here. Okay, so 4 files. What do we have? So Woods, we don't really want to. We're going to include these both, right? So Christie and from Gutenberg books. Poirot from Holmes from Gutenberg, right? Again. So hopefully you can also play around with the Project Gutenberg or some other resource and maybe save some books. We'll probably have an exercise on this, so you might want to get ready for that. So, okay, so we have everything, and I'll see you at the next lesson. Thank you.